Good morning, class. My name is Omar, and I'll be presenting on methods of communication for staffing. To begin with, communication is really essential nowadays. Over the past decades, the technological advances have helped organizations and employees to stay connected through various forms of communication methods. So that means that due to the technological advances such as phones, texts, many other apps that are available, like such as When to Work or GroupMe, these things have really helped employers to connect with employees. Moreover, Google has a lot of things like Google Messaging, Google Drive, Google Sheets. So I will be discussing some of the communication methods that are frequently used in organizations. So one of the basic ones are open meetings. So most companies usually have open meetings like every week to update all the employers in the company, like what is just up to date, like with them, that the future assignments that are due or the things that needs to be worked upon, or any personal goals for the company that it needs to be achieved, or any clients they need to handle, or any consignment that needs to be done. So all of these things are discussed on those meetings, which is held every week. Most companies use every week to have that kind of meeting. Moving on, emails are a basic form of method. I personally feel it is really handy where mass information can be sent really easily, and emails are like a really useful and handy tool to pass information to one another. So the other method which is often used by employers in an organization to communicate is phone calls and text messaging. Personally, I feel that this is the most efficient and fast method to communicate is by the use of calls or by text, which has become a major channel of communication because everybody has phones and it is so much accessible nowadays to get in reach with someone that easily. So the project review and employee tracking, this is Google Drive. Google Drive is a really handy tool where we can exchange big files like big projects, big consignments, and a group can work on them together. Like such as you have 7-8 people in Google Drive and you put a document where they have to work the project. So everybody can go in and do their part at the same time, and the file will be saved when they are done. Every time they do it, other people can see the reflection that what work has been done in the same drive. So it is like a really nice Dropbox where you can easily communicate with other people and get the job done all in the same time. So the recent example can be some companies are tracking workers with smartphone apps. This is because there are incidents when employees call in sick or they just don't show up, and then an excuse is given later on that I had this problem or I had that problem, I could not come, I was sick. But recently an app developed by Marina Ares could track its employees. So it has its advantages when you can know where employees are they lying to you or are they saying the truth, but sometimes, for example, it got her fired eventually when she misused it. She was literally like bragging to other people about what her employees were doing, and she could track them, like how, if they're speeding, if they are at bars, or if they're just lying about some stuff for which they did not show up to work to. Diversity training. Diversity is a big issue nowadays since the global market has emerged and the competition is too much to survive in the market, and there are so many multinationals when people have to deal with a diverse group every now and then. Many companies have followed this path through diversity training. You can achieve innovative ideas, like different mind thinks differently, people from different culture think differently, people can bring in their own culture, and for that, you can have good ideas like major progressment in the company, and then through diversity training, you reduce the communication gap because a lot of people, they're not used to diversity, but by doing this, the communication gap reduces. People are comfortable with each other, and then they can get the things done really easily. So that through diversity training, it can also increase in productivity. When people are comfortable with each other, they can communicate easily, and they can be efficient in working tasks. And I personally feel that diversity training is really important for companies. We have spoke earlier about affirmative action, but that is something which really helps an employee just in the short run, just to give them an insight, that how things are going, and you can just help them, but that the problem persists, the problem is not taken care of. Going ahead, employee apps. There are companies who encourage to use employee apps for the staff to stay up to date with the changes that companies are going through. For example, one of the employee website which I use is called When to Work, which is really helpful. That you can go see your schedule. You can drop your shifts. You can pick up your shifts. You can receive emails from your managers, and it's like a really, really handful website, like an app which tells you everything. So there are other apps which are really used by employers. So some of them are like Connect Team, 15.5, Slack app, Tap My Back, and Yammer. So these are all websites which are used by different companies or different organizations, even small, big. Most of them are also used by schools and universities for student workers who are working in their department to get the things done efficiently. So my personal example, at my current workplace, I use When to Work. It is really helpful because I can do the scheduling over there, and I can go in and see who's on schedule. I can pick up or drop shifts. I can approve that. I can message all the student workers at the same time, and I don't have to worry about sending everybody a phone call or a text. Everything can be just done by one messaging. You can just put one message out, and then it goes to everyone. And if you change anything, it also notifies all the other student workers. So the one other one is GroupMe. GroupMe is a very useful app when you can make a group of people. You can make a group of people who are in your organization who work with you, and then you can easily communicate with them. It's like a mass communication tool. So the Google advantages is it is a very useful application where a lot of things can be done easily. You can use to send Gmail to send emails. Files can be dropped in Google Drive, and it can be viewed by all employees. The best part about Google Drive and Google Sheets are it can be shared. The files can be shared and can have, as I said before, it can make edits in the same time. It doesn't matter if there's 15 or 20 people working on it together, and people can see the changes when they log in. So my interview questions were. So I had a few interview questions. Some of them were how long have you worked in this position? How do you handle so many people? What communication methods do you use? Handling hardships of big staff, motivating staff, diversity, and the goal for the company. So I interviewed Mohammed Matiullah, is the manager of Rock Soap and Cosmetics. His interview was recorded since he could not be present in the presentation. He has worked in this company for 8 years in the position now, and has 175 people under him, both administration staff and production staff. Moreover, it's to handle the administration staff as we mostly operate in calls and texts. So they do conduct weekly meetings to update everyone. It is hard to maintain the production staff always, but we work through incentives. So some of the other answers, the communication methods they use are calls, texts, emails, and weekly meetings. As he said, it is hard to manage 175 people. Somebody calls in sick and cannot come. So you just have to do your best at the end of the day. To motivate staff, they have personal incentives, gifts. So the workplace is diverse, and how they achieve to keep the place diverse is by having diversity training every year, so which helps the company to achieve all its expectations. The long-run goal for the company is to increase production, increase diversity, workplace, and to have a friendly environment, and to achieve the communication goals that company can a friendly environment, because proper communication, the company can achieve its milestones. So I have my references cited at the end of my presentation. So thank you for listening to me, and hope you have a wonderful day.